Male in his 60s, cardiac arrest, paramedic response, 1143.
Report of a structure fire, house filled with smoke.
Medical alarm activation, 91-year-old female cell, unknown injuries. 1834 inhibits fire control.
Lakeshore and injury accident in front of the Omni Pain and Wellness Center, 4855 Camp Road. Patrols on scene reporting one person with a shoulder injury, 1632.
In our country today, 65% of firefighters and EMS personnel are volunteers, with 19,000 out of 29,000 fire departments in the U.S. being 100% volunteer. In this documentary, I will be focusing on the town of Hamburg's current volunteer fire and EMS system and the problems they are faced with today.
Hi, my name's Tom Taylor. Been a volunteer for 5 years in Lakeshore. This last time, we had 2 previous years back in the 90s. And before that, I had 15 years with Newton Abbott Fire Company.
I'm Peyton Spaeth. I'm a EMT basic with Mercy Flight, and I'm also an EMS lieutenant with Lakeshore Fire Department.
Well, hi, I'm Mike Johnson, Father Mike Johnson now. Was ordained in June of 2021. Before that, I was in emergency services for many years, and currently I'm a firefighter EMT with Lakeshore Volunteer Fire Company in Hamburg.
The volunteer fire and EMS system has been used in the town of Hamburg and throughout the United States for decades. But as time has gone on, the reliability and efficiency of the volunteer fire and EMS departments has significantly decreased, and hundreds of towns and villages throughout the U.S. and even the town of Hamburg are faced with many issues from the decline of the volunteer fire service.
We know there are numerous problems with the volunteer fire service. In your eyes, what is the biggest problem you see with the volunteer fire and EMS systems in our town?
Manpower.
Sure.
Definitely manpower. And again, there's a lot of things that cause this.
Sure.
Back when I first got in the 70s, we still had people working swing shift. So you had people available every shift. And the fire companies back then were a social hub for the community. The malls were just starting to become prevalent. The kids' sports weren't as much as they are now. So it was a place to go. Now the families both parents are working 2 jobs or a job each, and it just doesn't seem to be people wanting to volunteer their time.
Commitment. Like, we have no issue with retention. Everybody wants to join a fire department for whatever their reasons may be. The issue is we have calls. We have calls all day, every day. They happen at 2 in the morning, they happen at 6 a.m. It doesn't matter. I would say that's one of the bigger issues. Fire and EMS alone, we don't always get out when we should. So I would say that's a pretty big.
I would say it would probably be manpower as a symptom of probably societal apathy and not wanting to be involved as volunteers really in anything, but especially we have a great shortage and need in emergency services, and other people have put other things ahead of volunteerism in their life.
In the last 20 years alone, the number of volunteer firefighters has dropped from 180,000 to 80,000 in New York State. With this decrease in volunteers has come with an increase in call volume, posing a big problem for many jurisdictions throughout the state.
Busier. The first year I was in here in 2019, Lakeshore answered 860 some calls. Last year we were over 1,200. So you're going up 30% in alarms. And that's a big jump for everything.
When Lakeshore, for example, started in the 1930s, the call volume was minuscule. They maybe got a call a week, if that, because 911 was actually seen as an emergency.
Sure.
We now, on average, get a call 3 times a day, which is ridiculous.
Well, I know that we have a lot more senior apartments being developed, and with senior apartments come those seniors who have those medical issues that they're going to be calling us for assistance for, and all the businesses on top of that. So yeah, call volume, like I said, EMS call volume has been increasing over the years, and it just continues to increase, and most of our volunteer fire companies now, the vast majority of the calls are EMS in nature.
In the summer of 2022, Town of Hamburg volunteer firefighter Mark Bernas completed a study on the current state of Hamburg's volunteer fire and EMS system. After analyzing the results of the study, he was able to come to the conclusion that among Hamburg fire companies, there is an inadequate ability to effectively provide emergency response at any given time, and that our ability to do so will diminish over the coming years. So what does the future look like for the volunteer fire service? I talked with Town of Hamburg Supervisor Randy Ho to see what his view looked like on the future of the town's volunteer fire companies. Here's what he had to say.
I think we need to increase capacity of our volunteer fire departments, and that may include a paid model.
Sure.
That may include a consolidation of resources, an examination of efficiency.
Not only do leaders of our town believe that change is necessary, but our volunteers believe so too.
I foresee eventually there being either a paid firefighter in each of the departments or a paid driver, possibly consolidation.
So I think we should resort to doing shifts versus like 24/7 availability. That used to work when the call volume was so small because they would happen like typically at night or what have you. Now we need people on deck at all times because the calls happen all the time.
Well, I would say we need to work together better as fire companies in the town. I think really when we're in the situation where we have low manpower, that I think we need to just remember that we're all in this for the same thing, and that's to protect the citizens of the town.
It is clear that change is not only necessary, but vital. And while there isn't one easy answer to fix the volunteer fire and EMS service, it is evident that modifications to the system are being talked about and are even going to be hopefully implemented sooner than later, so that citizens of the community can receive 100% reliable and efficient forms of fire, EMS, and rescue services at all times. But until this happens, the community is going to have to rely on the dedicated volunteers, who spend endless hours training, standing by, and answering the calls for help to serve and protect the community that they love day in and day out.